I remember staring at the front door, waiting, praying. 3 days, no calls, no texts, nothing. And when she finally walked through that door, smiling like nothing happened, I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I just looked at her and said, "You don't live here anymore." Yeah. That was the day love died in me. My name's Caleb, and for most of my adult life, I thought I understood what love was. I met Lena when we were both in our 20s. She was the kind of woman who made everything feel lighter, easier. She laughed at my dumb jokes, finished my sentences, and somehow made me believe that soulmates weren't just movie talk. We were inseparable, road trips, lazy Sunday mornings, inside jokes that could break any bad day. I used to wake up next to her and thank God quietly that she was mine. Every message from her made my day brighter. Every argument ended with laughter or a kiss. But then something started to change. It was small at first. Her phone became her secret. Her smile felt practiced, and her eyes, those warm, playful eyes, started to avoid mine. Still, I told myself, she's just tired, maybe stressed. She still loves me. I clung to that thought like a lifeline, because sometimes denial feels safer than truth. The first time she didn't answer my calls, I brushed it off. The second time, I started to worry. By the third, I couldn't sleep. She said she was out with friends, but the details never matched. I'd see her come home late, smelling of perfume that wasn't hers, wearing a new dress I'd never seen. When I asked, she'd laugh and say, "You're overthinking, Caleb." But you know when something inside you starts to ache, that quiet voice whispering, "You already know the truth." Still, I didn't want to believe it, because if I did, it meant everything I built my life around was a lie. Then came that Friday night. She said she was going on a girls' trip. No details, no location, just, "Don't worry, babe, I'll text you when we get there." But the text never came. Not that night, not the next day, not the next 3. I called. I texted. I drove to her friends' houses. No one had seen her. 3 days of silence. 3 days of wondering if she was alive or just gone. When she finally walked in, 3 days later, she looked radiant, relaxed, like she'd just come back from paradise. No explanation, no apology, just a soft, "Hey, babe." I stared at her, searching her face for a trace of guilt, a reason, anything. And then I noticed it. A necklace. One I'd never seen before. It wasn't just any necklace, it was his. A man I'd met weeks earlier. Someone who used to hang around our place. A friend, she'd said. The same man whose number I'd seen once pop up on her phone at 2 a.m. My heart dropped. She looked me straight in the eyes, smiled, and said, "You look like you've seen a ghost." That's when I knew. Everything I feared was true. I didn't scream. I didn't demand answers. Instead, I decided to give her exactly what she wanted: silence. That night, I cooked dinner, poured her wine, and told her I was glad she was home. She looked relieved. Maybe she thought I'd forgiven her. But while she laughed, I was already planning my quiet exit. The next morning, I left early, but not before leaving a letter on the dining table. It wasn't long, just a few sentences. "You disappeared for 3 days, but in that time, I found myself again. I realized I deserve honesty, not games, not lies. You can keep the necklace, I'll keep my peace." Then I packed my things, walked out the door, and never looked back. 2 weeks later, she showed up crying, saying she made a mistake, that it meant nothing. But the truth is, once trust breaks, it doesn't shatter, it disappears, and no amount of tears can bring it back. It's been months since that day. And yeah, some nights still hurt. But pain has a strange way of teaching you what love really is. It's not about proving your worth to someone who's already blind to it. It's about walking away, even when every piece of your heart wants to stay. Lena taught me that love without respect is just an illusion. Now, I live differently. I don't chase, I don't beg, I listen to my peace, because sometimes losing someone is exactly what you need to find yourself. If someone can vanish without worrying about how you feel, you owe it to yourself to vanish from their life for good. Subscribe to SilkMirror for more real-life stories of heartbreak, revenge, and transformation.